to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift. I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tenderness, thoughts tenderness. When my heart is touched by kindness, how my being fills with joy I wish to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift. I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tenderness, thoughts tender soon as the ocean stays, I also offer when touched by kindness to share. When my heart is sad in loneliness, may I reach out to one whose heart may feel so too. Cherishing the time we warmly talk, may the path we walk lead to friendship ever true. I'll link bright, I'll link as flowers, a sweet remembering of how I found me in you. When my heart's in pain, may I go on, may I bravely stand as I am and walk life's way. When my hands are warmed in Gassho, my heart lights aglow, finding peace when skies are gray. In great compassion, may I live this precious life, just as it's given in Buddha's life each day.
When we see the
great light of wisdom and compassion. In times of gratitude, I say Namo Amida Butsu. Doing good no matter how small, reaching out with a warm heart, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu. Spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida In times of difficulty, I say Namo Amida Butsu. Doing my best with a calm heart, thankful for my life as it's given, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu, spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida When my heart is touched by kindness, how my being fills with joy I wish to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift, I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tender soon, as the ocean's I also offer, when touched by kindness, to share. When my heart is sad in loneliness, may I reach out to one whose heart may feel so too. Cherishing the time we warmly talk, may the path we walk lead to friendship ever true. I'll link bright memories, as free as all Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. In times of gratitude, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing good no matter how small, reaching out with a warm heart, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu, spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. say Namo Amida Butsu. Doing good no matter how small. Reaching out with a warm heart. Always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. Always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu. Spreading spirit of living with brave hearts. Spreading spirit of caring, helping others. Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida When my heart is touched by kindness, how my being fills with joy I wish to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift. I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tender soon as the ocean's depth. I also offer when touched by kindness to share. When my heart is sad in loneliness, may I reach out to one whose heart may feel so too. Cherishing the time we warmly talk, may the path we walk lead to friendship ever true. I'll link bright memories hearts in pain. May I go on, may I bravely stand as I am and walk life's way. When my hands are warmed in Gassho, my heart lights aglow, finding peace when skies are gray. In great compassion, may I live this precious life, just as it's given in Mida's life each day. When we see the golden sun shining from above, we are mindful of the Buddha's love. For us all is pure compassion, shares its steadfast glow. By his doctrine, wisdom's way to show. When we see the silver moon gleaming in the sky, we remember still our Lord is nigh. By his blessed law to guide us through this earthly night, out of sorrow into joy and light. In times of difficulty, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing my best with a calm heart, thankful for my life as it's given, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. In times of gratitude, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing good no matter how small, reaching out with a warm heart, always in embrace Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu, spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. In times of difficulty, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing my best with a calm heart, thankful for my life as it's given, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. In times of gratitude, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing good no matter how small, reaching out with a warm heart, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. Buddha's great might of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu, spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida When my heart is touched by kindness, how my being fills with joy I wish to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift, I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tender soon, as the ocean stays, I also offer, when touched by kindness, to share. When my heart is sad in loneliness, may I reach out to one whose heart may feel so too. Cherishing the time we warmly talk, may the path we walk lead to friendship ever true. I'll link bright as free as flames, a sweet remembering Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, living in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. In times of gratitude, I say Namo Amida Butsu, doing good no matter how small, reaching out with a warm heart, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion, always in embrace of Buddha's great light of wisdom and compassion. With hands of heart in Gassho, I say Namo Amida Butsu, spreading spirit of living with brave hearts, spreading spirit of caring, helping others, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Buddha's great light shines into all hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo In times of
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Family Sunday service. My name is Jen Kurahara, and I will be your MC today. We will begin our service with Temple Bell Kansho. We have a chanting of Vandana and Ti-Sarana. Please put your hands together.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammam sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddha Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida.
Thank you. Today's chant will be Gassho to Amida.
Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho to Amida. Trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I Gassho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprouts new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. When I feel Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu. Namanda Bu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanta. Namanta. Namanta.
The Dharma message will now be shared by Mr. Warren Tanigawa, Minister's Lay Assistant. His message is, what does Namo Amida Butsu mean to me?
Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. Good morning. Sensei is busy being a speaker at our state Dharma school session, and so he asked me to cover for him. I agreed because 1, 2, 3, he can count on me, and 4, 3, 2, I can count on him. So I asked him if there is a topic that he wanted me to talk about. And he responds with, yes, what does Namo Amida Butsu mean to me? My first reaction was, okay, I got this. I say Namo Amida Butsu every morning when I do my stretching exercises, and sometimes during the day and night whenever the feeling occurs. But what does it really mean to me? My family are Buddhists, but they did not attend Sunday service, and we only went to the temple for funerals and weddings. And I remember my mother used to tell me, make mamansang. And so we would go up to the front, grab a piece of incense. I would smell it and put it in the bowl, and I would say, mamansang, mamansang, mamansang. So after a few weeks of coming to the temple, it didn't sound really right to say mamansang. So I asked Claire, what do you say when you go to Oshoko? And she says, just say Namo Amida Butsu. And I thought, oh, okay, great. That was easy. Now I'm in. Little did I know how prophetic that thought was. As author Richard St. Clair writes, Namo Amida Butsu has two parts to it. One is Namo, which means I take refuge, and Amida Butsu, which means Amida Buddha. Master Shinran, our founder, talks about the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, as the great practice. In the largest sense, the Nembutsu represents Amida Buddha's great practice on our behalf through the power of his primal vow to save all suffering beings everywhere. The primal vow says, if, when I attain Buddhahood, sentient beings in the lands of the 10 quarters, who sincerely and joyfully entrust themselves to me, desire to be born in my land, and call my name even 10 times, should not be born there, may I not attain perfect enlightenment. Excluded, however, are those who commit the 5 gravest offenses and abuse the right Dharma. So according to the primal vow, when you entrust your entire karmic destiny to Amida Buddha, you will be born in Amida's pure land as a Buddha. And then you'll understand everything as only a Buddha can. In my studying of the Dharma, it's been very rewarding. There is much that I have learned and embraced, but every once in a while, there are questions. They arise and they have no real acceptable answers. And this is the closest statement that I find acceptable to me, and I'll repeat it. So according to the primal vow, when you entrust your entire karmic destiny to Amida Buddha, you will be born in Amida's pure land as a Buddha. And then you will understand everything as only a Buddha can. So this is what Namo Amida Butsu means to me. It's the only thing that's necessary to be reborn into the Pure Land when I take my last breath and my body becomes white ashes. But there is another meaning to Namo Amida Butsu. When one receives Shinjing, one feels tremendous gratitude for being saved by Amida and granted the assurance of being reborn in his Pure Land as a fully enlightened Buddha. Thus, for the person of Shinjing, Namo Amida Butsu means thank you, Amida Buddha. It is the Nembutsu of gratitude. I became intrigued by the concept of Nembutsu of gratitude. I say Namo Amida Butsu in times of stress, in times of sorrow, in times of happiness, in times of inspiration, and in times of reflection. So now it is time to use it in time of gratitude. When I first came to Pune Hongwanji about 10 years ago, it was to attend the funeral service for Mrs. Akiyama. I didn't know anybody here except family, so I sat way in the back by the temple, by the window. And I remember feeling how peaceful it was and how beautiful the altar was. Then I saw a lady walking down the aisle and she was looking at me. And she finally turned and says, "You remember me?" And she followed it up quickly with, "You came to my house to watch Super Bowl." And I went, "Ah, yes, Mrs. Hashimoto, Jason's mom." So after the service was finished, I went downstairs and Mrs. Hashimoto approached me and she asked me, "So how was it? What did you think?" And I said, "Oh, I enjoyed the service. It was really nice." And she says, "Go come. Sunday we have service." And I said, "Yeah, maybe." When football season was over, I again returned to the temple. And I was surprised and slightly embarrassed that everyone here knew about me and how I like football. Even Reverend David made a comment about it. But all was good, and the rest is history. So to Dara Hashimoto, who was the first person to talk to me and to invite me to Pune Hongwanji, without you, I probably would not be here today. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. I also want to say that I'm grateful to everyone in the Sangha who have welcomed me and accepted me as I am, taught me about Namo Amida Butsu, and who have become close and dear friends. To the Sangha of Pune Hongwanji, thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. It was maybe 6 months or more of coming to temple when one day Kyoko Imada asked me to be an MC. Without much thought, I said no, and I went back to doing the books. And then I started to feel bad because how could I have said no to Kyoko? She who has dedicated herself to the service of the temple and done so much for us. So I went back to her and said, "Kyoko, only because you asked me, I will try and be an MC. I am not a speaker by any stretch of the imagination, but nervous and making a lot of mistakes, I did the MC. And I looked at Kyoko, and I thought she looked happy, and that was all that mattered to me. The next time I was MC, I wasn't that nervous, and hopefully I made fewer mistakes. Kyoko taught me that with her gentle guidance, even I, a shy, introverted person, can become more open and more giving to the service of our temple. I never had the chance to tell her, so I will now. For all you did for me, for all you mean to me, thank you, Kyoko. Namo Amida Butsu. When I first came to Pune Hongwanji, there was Reverend Fujimoto, who I liked because of his local boy and pidgin language that made it easy for me to relate to. But after a while, he returned to Honolulu. There was a period of time that we had no sensei of our own. And though I appreciate Hilo Betsuin sending their reverence, it still felt a little empty somehow. Until one day a friend called me and said, "Congratulations, you folks are getting a new reverend." He was young, he was 28 years old, he's from Japan, and you are so lucky to have him. Well, my Bombu self immediately wondered about, does he speak English? And how can someone so young give relatable Dharma messages? So I waited with bated breath at his first Sunday service. My anxiety was quickly replaced with awe and wonder. How can someone so young be so adept at presenting the Dharma to us? And at the end of the service, he had us stand in a circle, holding hands, and him playing the ukulele led us to singing Hawaii Aloha. Who does that? As I looked around the circle, all I could think about was how he made us whole again, that we have a leader to follow. I had a happy face on, and yes, we are very lucky. So to Reverend Satoshi Kaimipono Tomioka, for coming to Hongwanji and for being all that you are, thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. And last but not least, there is our crew of 5, including Sensei, who does most of the work. He is the Santa Claus of the group. These 3 ladies are so awesome to work with. No monku, no bossy, no ego. Only giving of their time and effort to benefit our temple sangha and the rest of the people who may be watching our virtual service. We try our best to keep everyone connected to our temple and to Amida Buddha, to Robin, to Haruka, and to Jen. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. In closing, please put your hand together and recite the Nembutsu with me. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, namandab, namandab.
Thank you, Warren. And we also appreciate you for being in our crew and helping us out all the time. Namo Amida Butsu. Now we're reading, now we have a reading of Homages. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living in it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear them. If we do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpas. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all, with one accord, live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. We now have chanting of Nembutsu.
Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Namo Amida.
Now for some announcements. The Hawaii District Ministers Association monthly online seminar continues on Saturday, November 13th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Learning from the Shoshinge by Rimban Kazunori Takahashi from Honpa Hongwanji Hilo Betsuin. To register, please go to our webpage or Facebook. The Hawaii District Ministers Association online Nembutsu seminar, Part 2, will be on Saturday, December 11th from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Living with Wisdom and Resilience, following the footsteps of Nembutsu practitioners on the Big Island, by Reverend Tatsuo Muneto, retired minister of Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii. To register, please go to our webpage or Facebook. This year, we're having an outdoor winter craft fair on Saturday, November 6th from 9 to 2. We have a lot of local vendors this year, so please come and support. Wear your mask, sanitize, and remember to keep socially distant. Also, our Vine of Harmony and Pumpkin Patch projects have been extended to October 27th. So if you haven't turned them in by now, please do. You have a little more time. And last, please subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook pages. Today's words of wisdom. What calls to us human beings to awaken to our true self is the Tathagata's primal vow. Thank you for attending our online service. Please stay safe and healthy.
When my heart is touched by kindness, how my being fills with joy I wish to share. When my heart overflows with life's gifts, may my smile uplift, I'll share smiles everywhere. Thoughts tender soon, as the ocean's depths reach, I also offer, when touched by kindness, to share. When my heart is sad in loneliness, may I reach out to one whose heart may feel so too. Cherishing the time we warmly talk, may the path we walk lead to friendship ever true. I'll link bright as flames, a sweet remembering of how I found me in you. When my heart's in pain, may I go on, may I bravely stand as I am and walk life's way. When my hands are warmed in Gassho, my heart lies